Why, hello and welcome everybody. It is Pox again, so coming at you with another Wolcen video. This one's going to be not sponsored, so you don't really have to worry. So we're going to be talking about the character that I'm currently playing in Wolcen. This is going to be for the release. So after playing a little bit and kind of understanding a little bit more about how the game works, I decided I wanted to play a melee character. Well, it turns out everyone and their mother is playing melee, so I wanted to change some things a little bit. So I'm playing a gun and shield character, which actually is a hybrid, I'll explain in a second, focusing primarily on ailments. So as you can tell, I'm full wisdom. The reason why I'm full wisdom is because wisdom governs your chance to apply an ailment. So let's talk about like Path of Exile, since that's what most of you guys know me from. So in Path of Exile, when you crit with an ailment like Ignite, Shock, or Freeze, or an element, it will apply the ailment. In Wolcen, has nothing to do with crit, it's a chance to proc. The more wisdom you have, the more status, well, basically the more ailment chance you have to apply. Ailments have a base duration of 10. You can scale that duration, stack count of 10. So that would be like 10 Ignite stacks in Path of Exile. And they can be increased up to 20 on the passive tree. Now, you can normally only apply one ailment at a time. And the way the ailments work are the following. It will always take your highest property. So if I, for example, on my weapon had Rend, Toxic, Fire, Lightning, Sacred, Shadow, Aether, it will only take the number one highest, because that is how it works. To get a second ailment type, you can use this node on the tree, which allows you to apply multiple ailments at the same time, which feels very nice. Maybe you can find a work around this if you're using one skill that converts to another one, and then you're simultaneously switching between them, but I don't want to do that. I'm just focusing on something more simple right now. So to talk about the character, I've respec'd like 4 times, and this is what I found to be the best currently. So let me explain. I started off going into straight ailment. The reason why is if you don't apply your ailment, you're not doing any damage. So I went straight for ailment chance. Now, it's important to note that we're using a material ailment. We are not using an elemental or an occult. So if I open this up right now to explain, material governs your Rend and Toxic. Physical, I don't think has anything. Elemental is Fire, Frost, Lightning, and occult is Sacred, Shadow, Aether. Now, this also applies to your resistance and your damage. If you find something that says occult, it means Sacred, Shadow, Aether. So that's just one thing you need to understand for the bare bone basics. So, after this, so we've got material status ailment basically, and then everything going here to the left is pretty much just to be tanky to go in the shield nodes. I picked these up later because I don't really need the damage right now, and then we'll be getting block and some other stuff later. Over here to the right, I decided to go out the max health because we're going tanky. So we went here. I've got the max health node. This is whenever my health goes under 30%, I gain a burst of regeneration, which is really nice. Coming down into more health. And then here is our big pool. So basically, when you get over here, you're going to take one of the most important nodes, which is these 2 ailment stacks, and your Insidious Decay, which makes it so your on-hit damage is less, which does not matter. It does not affect the dot in any type of way. And then you get +2 ailment per, which means if I hit and apply an ailment, I apply 3 out of 20, which is fantastic. From that 3 out of 20, over here to the right, you have a 50% chance to multiply that, and you can actually go even further, but it doesn't matter because we hit our cap very quickly, so that's not really a problem. And this is also a nice ailment stack duration. Now, I will be later going into the block nodes. However, currently, one of the block nodes is bugged, which is Bane of Tyranny, which I'm pretty sure gives you maybe 100 times what it's supposed to. So that kind of breaks the game. We're not trying to break the game like that. We want to break the game a legitimate way. Then over here to my right, I decided to move upward, and I went over and grabbed, this is not really very important. It's increased damage for a nearby enemy. It's okay, but it's not what we're going for. We're moving down towards here so that these conversion nodes are also don't matter for our build. We want this. This makes it so we can only deal material damage. Again, material means poison, physical, and Rend, which is bleed, poison, or acid, which is poison and acid. So this will make it so we can only do the 2 primary damage types we're focusing. What I'm about to show you, I'm currently running with Frost, just because I don't have poison anywhere. Now, Wolcen is kind of weird with the scaling, and it's not described properly, and not everybody really knows how to explain it, / doesn't even understand it. So I'm going to explain a simple basic. Your flat damage does not contribute in any type of way to your damage. Down here, this information literally doesn't work. It's bugged. They even announced you can't even see your scaling from here. So the best way to scale is through your ailment damage, your attribute damage, and then just more ailment damage slash specific ailment damage. And then, of course, maximum stack. You can go crit, but remember, ailments cannot crit unless you get the node. That makes them crit, which is in that one tree that I showed. So, now, to use another example of why that one conversion node is good, I have an upgraded weapon, but it deals shadow damage. And the problem is I can't use it until I can't deal occult damage, because then shadow will apply over freeze, and I don't want that because it doesn't help me, because we're going to aim for rend and toxic, which is bleed and poison. Okay, with that being said, let me show the character. So currently, this is pretty much what we use. The reason why we use a gun: single shot, dual wield gun, double shot, gun plus shield, shotgun. Very nice for applying stacks. So I use currently Wings of Ishmir for leap. I've got Phantom Blades, which also helps apply some stacks. Right now, it doesn't really work very well. I have transmit ailment stacks from one target to another, so I thought of like prolif, sort of, you know, like bounces, but I think you have to kill with it and not with the dot, so I don't really think this works very well. Nonetheless, it's just nice to hit a large amount of targets. I've got Mark of Impurity, which is basically for single target. We're just now leveling it up, so it's not very good, but you basically just debuff the big guys. I've got Flight of Gavnir, which is really cool. It basically is a hammer that shoots out with 2 projectiles. I've been debating on coming up here. So Ferocity, which gives us a little bit of damage because of attribute scaling. Then we've got Material Damage, attack speed, maximum health. Then over here, Agility, which is attack speed. And then I can get +1 proj, which would give 2 shurikens and 3 hammers, because I have 2 hammers right now. And this would simply just give us good area clear, which is nice. With that being said, let's go ahead and show you some gameplay. Now this character is pretty tanky right now, as we are using a shield. Shields make you super tanky. I'm gonna go run a nice little side area over here, see what we can do. So that's our bleed tick, and that's the freeze. So that synergizes well. If I had poison, poison would make me do more damage, but then I would lose the freeze. But I feel tanky enough already, so I'm just gonna go with it. Oh yeah, and then on our right click, I've got Jug, which is a bubble. Ooh, material damage? It didn't look like that applied any stacks to anywhere, so unfortunately I don't think that's going to work very well. That's okay though. I like the hammer a lot. Ooh, reward. Force shield, health, material, movement speed. What sells for the most? Okay. See, I think there's a boss at the end here, so I'm going to go hit up that boss if I can. Definitely going to grab some more movement speed on the character. Even though we have a little bit already, I feel like we could definitely move quite a bit faster. I'm also sad to say that we picked up Global Leech and I tested it, and Global Leech, unfortunately, does not seem to work with damage over time, which I think is silly because it says Global Leech, but that's okay. I cannot see where I'm going. Oh, here we go. Ooh, 2 yellows? You guys frozen? Yeah, I saw what someone said earlier about the leech only applying to the regen tick, but I still don't think it works with leech. Could be wrong. Guess it wouldn't be that much anyway that I'd be leeching. Could try again at another time. Yikes, that was rude. I don't think leech applies only every 3 seconds though, because I played a character that used leech, and I'm pretty sure it was like almost like Volpack, just not as responsive. Oh, it applies to your HP regen, which is not on 3 seconds. So HP regen is quicker than that. Your HP regen is 0.8. Okay, so then... 0.8 is way better than 3 seconds, for sure. Boss fight? What's this? Reach the main gate, opening the mechanism. Not like this. Oi! Oi, moi! Yeah, I'm scaling life regen right now. Also, it's pretty good uni. The only problem with Wolcen is the combat feels janky. That's really about it. Customization is there. Combat just feels janky. Janky, rubber bandish. Can't animation cancel. You feel stuck in animation a lot. Okay, so here we mark. So you can see there, we have 3.6k tick. If I had poison, it would also be 3.6k, but it ticks almost half the speed of bleed. But it's still nice. Yeah, can't potion while attacking. That one is like... I'm honestly baffled at how that one came through. You can't use an HP potion while attacking, or like in animation. But maybe that's just how they want it. What? Come on, give me like a nice guy to show. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is kind of like, that's like a boss fight almost. Yeah, here we go. You guys can see how the character does on bosses. Sort of like a boss fight. It's like a mini boss. Okay, well, you're banned. Nobody likes you. 1, 2, debuff the boss. And get some stacks. I think we're max stacked at 3k. Yeah, we're max stacked. Keep that debuff up. Move around. Nice. Spalder, pistol. Pistol? Shadow damage. No thanks, dude. Maybe we get a real boss? Real boss hype? Maybe not.
This machinery will open the gate once activated.
Hello? Activate the main gate.
Destroy the power core. They're sabotaging the machinery from above. Oh no, you're not.
Okay, that's pretty much about it. I hope you guys had a wonderful time. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. And of course, don't forget, you can catch me streaming live every day but Saturdays at twitch.tv/Pox. Take care, YouTube. Have a wonderful time.